Greetings, I am Rob Chapman. Today I'm absolutely bored off my tits, packing up and moving house just to somewhere else, and been rummaging through a bunch of old bits of paper, and you know what, I found something that I thought might either be interesting or be funny or bring people hope in a career in the music industry. I found my school reports, junior school reports, and I found a CV from back in '97, just to give you a window into my life from many years ago, kind of where I came from. I essentially came from failure. Let me show you what I found. So these are all my old school reports from when I was a little tiny boy living in Wiltshire, going to a school called Parochial, where I absolutely sucked. Having just relocated from Holland, my English was bad, I didn't really want to be there, and as a result, my education was shocking. Okay, so I'm going to go chronologically. This is from 1983. I was born in 1975, so at the time of this being written, I was 8. My reading age was 8 and 3 months. My favourite part is the conduct and behaviour in 1983. Usually good, although some time is wasted in daydreaming. 1984. Robert has tried hard with reading and makes a lot of progress. His written work is much clearer, although he still needs to concentrate on spelling. Physical education. I love this bit because the PE teacher clearly can't write done well in athletics. That's a teacher writing done well in athletics. Other aspects of education, so this includes things like religious studies, environmental studies, history, etc. He often lapses in concentration, which leads to careless work. If he shows continued effort and determination, he will achieve more, which means I'm not achieving anything at the time. Moving on, 1985, his spelling is now understandable, but he must pay more attention to the presentation of his work. Robert still struggles with the understanding of mathematical process. He seems to have learned how to use tables better this term, and I feel he does not seem as hopeless and bewildered now. Physical education. Robert tries hard. A well-behaved and sensitive boy, Robert is more organised with his belongings than he was at first. Thank you, Mrs. Dutch, who was actually quite a nice teacher. 1986, this is an 11-year-old monkey lord. Robert has imaginative ideas in story writing and writes in a mature manner, though his spelling is not of the same level. Usually good, Robert is polite and helpful in the classroom generally, but can be easily diverted into silliness with his best friend, as a result of which they have usually been kept apart. Thank you, Sam Marsh, for making me silly and have behavioural problems. By the way, this is a picture of my school. Okay, in '86 they also for some reason made students write down their own points of view on things they were doing, and I wrote, "I'm very keen, polite and work hard and can be inaccurate. I am scruffy but trying. Recently produced an outstanding homework." I've got no idea what that would have been. One of my favourite things here is that in the school assessment sheet at the bottom where it says pupils' comments, I simply wrote, "This school is quite good." I'm talking about John of Gaunt in Trowbridge here. "This school is quite good, but I do wish we wouldn't have to walk from class to class." Okay, so this is the first form of my senior school. I'm in 1N under the guidance of Mr. Graham Hill, who was an absolute legend of a teacher. Robert's main weakness is his inability to concentrate for reasonable spans of time. He is not the best organised or most motivated of pupils, appearing to have his mind elsewhere. So there was a class called Home and Family where you basically learned to do cooking and needlecraft and all sorts of sexist things, and you were kind of pushed into whether you were a guy doing cookery, if you were a girl doing needlecraft, because this is old school. Robert's Snoopy motif was an original idea for his oven glove. He's worked steadily and I'm pleased with his progress. I demanded to be in the needlecraft group because I felt it was sexist otherwise, although I could already cook. Thank you so much. You're an absolute legend. Sylvia just bought me a coffee because she's great. Form 2N, I guess it's 88 at this point. Robert is a bright, helpful member of the tutor group. His only weakness is a preoccupation with lunchtime activities which sometimes make him late for afternoon registration. Those activities would have been going to the local shop to buy slightly out-of-date soggy crisps, 5p chocolate bars. Orally, Robert is good. Now, in 1988, you must understand, computers were a completely new thing. The internet did not exist, and if you had a computer at school, it was simply a box with green text and you would type on things. Maths. Robert has shown a keen and lively interest in maths, and I was very impressed with his use of a computer. However, did experience difficulties working in a group for screen printing. I think he should take greater care selecting his workmates. Now what that meant was that the school was action-packed with chavs, and I just got mixed up with the wrong guys. Drama. Robert only spends half his time working in drama. The other half of his time is spent chatting or just being silly. He has done some good work producing a puppet for a production on 18th century version of Punch and Judy, and I hope we are starting to get to a place where he improves his behaviour, but even slightly Mrs. Matthews. So 1989, I'm now 14 years old and a massively uneducated, complete mess. He needs to concentrate on his written work at this stage, paying particular attention to spelling and avoiding careless errors. That was Mrs. England. I had such a crush on Mrs. England at the time. So I think this possibly is my favourite written piece on me from Physical Education in 1989. Pleased to see he stopped practicing Kung Fu every 30 seconds, no matter what he is meant to be doing. At this point I was absolutely obsessed with Chinese martial arts. I would run home from school, grab a staff, spin around the garden. It was my obsession. I wasn't even playing guitar yet, by the way. So basically, school for me was just a giant nightmare. I'd moved to England from Holland and I didn't really want to leave Holland as a kid. I was really enjoying Holland. I didn't really get on in class. I focused mostly on languages and PE and art and didn't do anything academic. And that really reflects in the results I found in my curriculum vitae, my CV from 97. GCSEs, English language, B. French, A. Design and communication, B. Science, C. Double science, C. Maths, D. Now originally my maths was an E, but I went to college, worked really hard, retook it, got a D. I'm very proud to note that I completed the Wiltshire Basic Skills Achievement Scheme in computation, which was literally press a button, type in a tiny bit of code and press enter. I got an AS level in French, D, and an AS level in design, D. I then went to the Guitar Institute of Technology in Ealing, the Guitar Institute, which is now called the ICMP, and flourished and did the 1-year diploma course, which gave me everything I needed. What I'm liking here is the interests I've written down. I'm a keen musician and have played and taught electric guitar for several years. I've played with several bands and recorded in various studios. The last band I played with was called Flytrap, an 8-piece funk band. I'd completely forgotten about Flytrap. Before leaving London, I recorded an EP with Red Bear, a rock band with AKA Records. I have no memory of this. I know the guys in the band, but I just can't remember anything to do with it really. Spent most of my time practicing martial arts. I enjoyed reading. I never enjoyed reading. Cooking, yeah. Cinema and rollerblading. So my jobs from March 95 until September 97 started off as a glazing optical assistant in Roland and Andertons Opticians in Richmond. Then I moved into Ireland in Colindale and was a laboratory technician making people's spectacles. Notably made the spectacles for the movie Mission Impossible, and I'd completely forgotten that. I also made glasses for Trevor McDonald from BBC News and Ronnie Corbett. Then I moved to Roland and Andertons in Putney, was a laboratory manager in Putney. That was great fun. And then I moved to Vision Express in Bath, and then I ended up working for the council, and then I ended up working for the education department, and then I ended up working for a bunch of temporary jobs, and then I worked for a fuel card company, and then I worked for Virgin Mobile as a team leader and a CSA to begin with, and then I worked for Vodafone, and then I had job after job after job until I ended up in a frozen food company in the accounts department, a guy with a D in maths, and just realised that what I was doing was a complete waste of time. It wasn't fulfilling me, it wasn't something I enjoyed. I needed to work for myself. I had enough guitar students that if I really focused there, I could build it up, and then just quit my job. So I did that, here I am. Thank you, me, for having a series of rubbish jobs that pushed me into doing that. Hopefully that was insightful and interesting, and not just a giant hairy cretin wearing bunny ears drinking coffee in a rambling video about myself. I've been Rob Chappers. Take it easy, prosper and be well. Chappers out.